back to my channel. My name is Janet and I have lost over 100 pounds following the ketogenic diet. On my channel you will find a variety of recipes, topics, and all sort of things. We talk about keto, protein sparing modified fast bread, and also kind of the mental aspect of weight loss, weight gain, everything included in all of that. So thank you so much for joining me. Make sure that you click on that red subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when I upload a new video. And welcome back to all of my current subscribers. All right, today what I'm going to do, I need to make some protein sparing modified fast bread. I'm going to be making a loaf today, just a simple loaf in the oven using my recipe. So if you're interested in my recipe, I haven't made it for a long time. I always have it linked further down in the description. I get a lot of feedback all the time that it really tastes good and it is their go-to bread when they're on protein sparing modified fast diet. So I am going to be making that today, and while I am making that, I'm going to go over the questions that you have in regards to protein sparing modified fast bread. And I thought it'd be a good chance in order to answer a lot of questions that I get a lot on my videos, and I will be answering just some extra questions that I do get asked repetitively on my channel. So if that's what you're interested in, then keep on watching. So let's get started on making our bread, and as we go along, I'm going to be answering those questions that you need to know about your protein sparing modified fast bread, how you store it, eggs, egg white, allulose, all of the questions. So let's get started. All right, so I am just preheating my oven to 325. So we are doing that first, and then for my protein sparing modified fast bread, I use 2 egg yolks. So, and I also use 1 cup of egg whites. So what I do is when I split up, separate my yolks and my whites, I will put my 2 yolks in here. I will put my egg whites from those eggs in here, and then I will top it off with carton egg whites. So that brings me to my first question is, do you have your egg whites at room temperature? And my answer is no, I do not. I literally just took all of these ingredients out of the fridge and I use them as is. I don't let them warm up. I don't let them go to room temperature. To be honest, I never have. So it depends, like mine always turns out. Sometimes if you're having trouble maybe with your egg whites not creating stiff peaks, I would maybe recommend having your egg whites at room temperature. Every place is different. Like what I experience here inside of my home in Southern Alberta may not be what you experience where you live. So it definitely has a variety of different factors, unfortunately, but I do not. That is my answer. But like I said, if you are having trouble, then I would maybe recommend doing that. We are just gonna set our 2 egg yolks off to the side because we add that last. That is the last thing that we add. And I just top it up with sorry, it's not a cup, it'll be less than a cup of my carton egg whites. I always get the ones from Costco. It's just price wise, it definitely makes a difference. And also, I have never had any trouble with this brand not stiffening up for my peaks for my bread. So I don't know if that makes a difference as well. But honestly, you guys, it's a lot of trial and error. I hate to say it, like so many things are trial and error, and what maybe works for me, you know, might not work for you, and vice versa. So that is one thing with this bread, unfortunately, that's how it goes. Another question that I get asked is, can you whip up your egg whites with a hand mixer? And the answer is yes. It will take you a little bit longer. I don't have a hand mixer, but I have seen a couple people make it using a hand mixer, and it does take a little bit longer. Mine whips up for about 7 minutes, 7 to 8 minutes. So even though it looks like it's going really fast because I speed up, Our oven is preheated to 325. But it looks like it's going really fast, but that's because I speeded up like times 20 times on my editing. So just so you know, you do have to whip it quite long in order to get those stiff peaks for about 7 to 8 minutes in a stand mixer. I would say it would probably be over 10 to 12 minutes. If anybody knows the answer to that, if you do make your bread with the hand mixer, please let us know in the comments. But yes, you definitely can make this bread with a hand mixer. So mine is a KitchenAid. Jimmy actually got it for me. He bought it from a pawn shop years ago, probably close to 8-10 years ago, and it is still going strong. So I always recommend checking out your pawn shops or, you know, your Facebook marketplace. They will have some on sale and work really, really well. Like this one has been going strong for a long time. So that is what we add to our, first of all, is we add in our egg whites, and then next we will add in our cream of tartar. Now in my recipe, I use 2 teaspoons of the cream of tartar, and there is a variety of recipes out there. But, you know, once you find one that you like or that works for you, you kind of stick with it. And this recipe that I have adapted from, you know, Maria Emmerich and the whole entire, you know, everybody's recipe out there, this is what I came up with and adapted that I like. Once again, it took me a lot of recipes and a lot of trial and error to figure out the recipe that I like. And yes, that is definitely the one that I am making today. Hands down is my favorite recipe. So I get a lot of questions about that. What is my favorite protein sparing modified fast bread recipe? And it is this one that I am making here today. It tastes like real bread. The texture is good, the taste is good, and it always turns out really, really good consistently. All right, we are gonna put this on high, and I will be back to answer your next questions.
Like you're crazy. You know damn well I can't replace you. Just say what you mean. Don't waste your time being mad at me. Say what you mean, say what you mean. And you'll get what you need, get what you need. What I do is try to give you more than words. When I say I quit, it's only cause it hurts. We got places we can go to figure out what we've done, what we need, what to do. Yeah, I got you. The way you look at me is absent. It's like you're walking through a labyrinth. Just say what
we are going to now put in our dry ingredients. And now we're just gonna wanna let this like pretty much combine. We have our mixer on low. Then we will also add in our yolks. And then all of the rest of it here, I'm just gonna use my spatula, and I will mix it all together because we don't want it to flatten is the big thing. And sometimes with this bread, once you add wet ingredients or more ingredients, it just starts to flatten the egg whites. So I am just going to do that. So another common question that everybody has, I feel, is that their egg whites won't stiffen. So I kind of touched on that topic a little bit earlier, but every place is different. It depends on so many factors that I definitely cannot tell you exactly what your issue is. Every scenario is different. Your home might be too warm, too high humidity. It might be a variety of things. But like I said, try your egg whites and definitely try making it again. I cannot tell you enough. Don't just stop at one loaf. This is gonna take you a few times before you get the loaf that you want. So I use a silicone loaf pan. This has been life-changing. I actually ordered the whole entire set. Now I only use silicone, and it has really tremendously helped my baking world. I have something similar linked in my description below in my Amazon favorites, but I'm telling you, silicone has definitely changed the game with me anyways. Nothing sticks for anything that I ever make, not even like protein sparing modified fast, just everything in general. So what we do is then put it in our loaf pan here and make sure that it is kind of like all packed down so there isn't a lot of like air bubbles in your loaf. Now, I would also love to be experimenting with more variety of breads, like my friend Neely. She has on her channel done so many experiments, but I just cannot get a lot of those ingredients. So I have a lot of subscribers that comment that they've tried this bread and it tastes amazing, but I just can't get a lot of those ingredients. And if I can, they are outrageously expensive. Like what you would pay, I would pay like triple, if not more, because first of all, shipping is so expensive if I order it off of like Amazon.com. Shipping is so expensive to ship to Canada, and the exchange rate is just horrendously horrible, of course. So I try to like do different varieties if I can, and that is actually how I came up with my new favorite recipe, which we are making today, and that is implementing some egg yolks. And I'm telling you, adding egg yolks is a total game changer. Now, just be aware that it is going to add some more fat to your macros, depending if you can have them on your protein sparing modified fast days. And I also will have my macros listed at the end of this video for my loaf that we are making today. And sometimes I get a variety of different slices, usually about 10 slices is what I gauge, but everybody's is going to be differently. So what I do next is I put this at a 325 degree oven for 30 minutes. So I set a timer for 30 minutes in the oven. So let's do that. I have taken the bread out of the oven. Sorry, it's just on a pot holder here because it is super hot. So let's continue with our questions. And another question that I get asked on a regular basis is, do I need to add allulose or any sort of sweetener? And the answer is no. You can leave that out if you are sensitive to sweeteners such as allulose or erythritol or any of those artificial sweeteners. You can leave it out. Mainly what the allulose is to give it more of a browning effect. I know when I first started, I wasn't using allulose, and there is no taste difference between the two. But I do notice now that the top of my loaf looks more bread-like and it's more browned, like a nice crust. But no, you do not need any allulose. All right, another question that I get is, how do I store my bread? And I store my bread in this container. Store it in this airtight container that one of my sweet subscribers have sent me off of Amazon. I do have it linked in my Amazon favorites, and it is just that. It is my favorite. I like it because it is so large, and it also keeps it airtight as well. So what I do, I'm not going to with my loaf right now because it does need to cool, but I put one piece of paper towel on the bottom. I put my loaf in. Now, I don't find a difference if it's unsliced or sliced. It doesn't dry out. Nothing different happens for me. So I put my loaf in there, and then I put another paper towel on top of that, and then I close it up in my seal tight container. Now, it keeps, I would say for sure, five days on the counter in your airtight storage container. Now, mine has never gone moldy, but my bread has also never lasted longer than 5 days. But what I always recommend and tell people, and to have it on the counter for 5 days. If it is not all eaten by then, you can either freeze it, put it in small baggies, slice it and freeze it, or put your container in the fridge, because it does not contain any sort of preservatives, so it will mold if you leave it on your counter in your home. But that is how I store it. Like I said, my bread has never lasted longer than 5 days. But I hope I answered everybody's questions. I put it on my Instagram, and that's how I did come up with some of the questions for today. And I also added a few answers of my own that I get on my channel repetitively. So I hope that it gives you all the answers that you're looking for when you make your protein sparing modified fast bread. If anybody has any other comments or suggestions, please write them in the comments below. A lot of people are coming here to find out how to fix their problems in order to have the perfect loaf of protein sparing modified fast bread. So thank you so much for joining me. Make sure that you hit that red subscribe button. Give this video a like to let me know that you're liking my content. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so YouTube can notify you when I upload a new video. Thanks for watching.